Hello and welcome back to what seems like it's going to be a monthly update from Blackmagic for the Blackmagic camera app for iPhone. For the past 3 months, this app has absolutely taken over the mobile filmmaking world and pretty much instantly become everyone's favorites, both because it's basically completely free and it has some of the best and latest features out there. I'm a little bit extra excited today because of this update because I actually had a little bit of influence on it. But before we get to that, I actually want to show you something within the Blackmagic camera app as kind of a tip that I've been getting a bunch of questions about over the course of months, and so I just want to do a little education real quick. So it's literally like 2 a.m. I'm about to export this exact video, and right before my final watch through, I'm watching this section that you were going to see. This section was going to be me explaining why you can't have tap for AF only, and it's, you know, anywhere you tap in the preview screens can be autofocus and auto exposure, and you need to just like lock in your controls at the top and then manually focus if you want to like tap or focus on a different thing in the part of the screen. But I figured it out. You don't have to do that. You can indeed singular auto focus tap. Here's what I was talking about before. If I want to focus on that, I tap and we see AE as well as AF. So it's auto exposure, auto focus. We can see it changing our shutter, our ISO, all that stuff. And people were getting frustrated because they'd go in and be like, oh, there's the ISO I want. There's the shutter angle because we need a little higher ISO. Cool. And oh, I want to focus on this now though. So I'm going to tap on it, but then it just goes and changes all that stuff again. So I told people what you need to do is, you know, change your settings on top, put them the way you want, and then go down to your focus control and you either have autofocus turned on, which is pretty smart, or if you want to get fancy, you can turn off auto, but you will have to manual control between those different focus points. There's a better way. So the reason I thought you couldn't really lock in your exposure is because under ISO, there's not the same little lock icon that we see under everything else. However, under the shutter button, there is a lock. So if I set it to 180 in here and hit lock, and then let's say just my ISO, exactly where I want it, let's say right at 100. Now, if I tap anywhere on the screen, so if I'm over here, we can see that it no longer says AF AE, it just says AF. And by the way, it seems to be doing a pretty smooth focus. It's not like a normal phone focus where it just like quickly jumps to it. It's a little delayed, so I mean that could be fixed. But there you go. You can tap to just autofocus without changing your exposure. I want to teach you guys the right stuff. You're welcome. Oh yeah, also I want to let you guys know that a couple days ago I released a huge video that I'm really proud of on the DJI Ronin 4D 8K that was announced. And in kind of celebration of that, I did a 50% off code for my DaVinci Resolve course. But it turns out that code works on anything on my website, including my iPhone filmmaking guide. So if you want to grab that for crazy cheap right now, it's only got like 24 hours left before that code expires. So I'll leave that linked in the description below. 50% off basically anything on my website. So there you go. Now with that tip and explanation out of the way, let's jump into the update we see from today. So the very first thing on the list here is flip image now flips image both vertically and horizontally. And this is from the last update a month ago where they announced that you could flip the image so that if you are using a SLR depth of field adapter like this new B-Script depth of field Mark III, which is just successfully funded on Kickstarter and is coming out earlier next year, you can actually pre-order using my link in the description below. And this is an insanely awesome updated model. But anyway, all of these DOF adapters flip the image. And so in their last update, they flipped it upside down, but it was horizontally flipped the wrong way. So when I did a video about the update, if I aimed to the right, the image would go left and it was just kind of backwards. So I had to use an external monitor to fix that. Phone inside the SLR, and we can see that everything's upside down. So if I go to my settings and go to my camera, scroll down and we'll see flip image for SLR lens. Same as last time, except now hopefully when we turn it on, yep, we can see that it is flipped properly. So now I'm able to use a depth of field adapter, get some awesome SLR type styled imagery. So thank you Blackmagic for listening and getting that updated. Next up on the list is improved ISO controls to allow lower ISO ranges. At first I thought they unlocked like lower ISO performance, but I'm fairly certain that 55 was the lowest from before. Maybe on certain models of iPhones, some couldn't go lower. So let me know in the comments below if you figured out what this means, because I believe I've always had access to 55, but let me know if you're on a different iPhone that didn't have that before. Improved handling when importing duplicate LUTs. This one's pretty easy, but is convenient. If I go into my settings and then we head over to the LUT section and tap on my LUT selection, I can see all of my different imported LUTs here. And for those curious, a lot of people have been asking what LUT I've been primarily using for Apple Log. And by far, my favorite one that I found is from 𝗦𝗧𝗨𝗙𝗙. You should check them out in the link in the description. It's aimed to match the iPhone 15 and Apple Log straight to an Alexa Mini LF. And let me tell you, it is freaking close. The colors are beautiful. They're natural. They're just vibrant enough, but not oversaturated. They did a spectacular job on this LUT. And so yeah, you should definitely check it out. But anyway, you can see I have V4 and V5, and let's say for some reason I was like, oh, maybe I didn't upload the latest version of the LUT, and I hit import. I go to my desktop, find the LUT right here, and I hit open. We can see this new little pop-up that says, hey, this is a duplicate. You already have this one imported. And let's say you did update it, but you just gave it the same name, then you can hit replace. You can do keep both or cancel. So in my case, be like, whoop, I already have it in here. Small little update, but helpful little tool. Address an issue with preview quality when switching between phone orientation. This one I noticed a couple times. I didn't have much of an issue. It basically was just like sometimes just the quality of the preview would literally get kind of wonky if I was just rotating the image like this. Address an issue with audio sync when switching lenses during recording. This is interesting because I didn't realize what was happening, but I do think I did experience this when I did my crazy iPhone build and I had my Rode Wireless Pro mic set up. There'd be a lot of times where the mic would like stop working or it'd get out of sync. Good to see that addressed as well. And finally, general stability and performance improvements. Again, on an iPhone 15 Pro Max, this app wasn't really slow to begin with, but I'm happy to see that they're constantly improving things on the back end here. This app has by far been one of the most reliable, fastest to open, and just overall best camera apps that I've ever used. And so yeah, Blackmagic, it seems like you're on the path to do these monthly updates. So everyone, let me know in the comments below. What do you want to see added? Anything fixed in the comments section here? And clearly Blackmagic is listening to us, which feels amazing as a consumer. So yeah, let us know down in the comments below what you want to see added into this app. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. And I'll see you guys in the next video.